You know, you may be surprised at how hurt people can be all around you, and you may be hurting inside as well. But it's important to understand that pain is not necessarily as unique as you may think it is. A lot of times we think it's very special, it's very unique, like we're the only ones with pain. And that's what I wanted to talk about. Specifically, I wanted to talk about suicide, taking your own life. It's a thing that happens. I've known people who have died. Some of them may have killed themselves, and some of them may have died accidentally. But regardless of how somebody may die, it still is very painful for the people who die, and possibly even more so for the people who are left behind. And that's what I wanted to talk about right now. And I'm not saying that I'm an expert, but I do know that it's not as unique of a feeling to want to end your life. I've thought about it a lot. A lot of people have, probably everybody has, from time to time. Obviously, everybody's different. Every situation is different. So, some people may have it worse, and there's a variety of reasons for it. Sometimes it can happen because there's just too much overtaking you, and you feel like you have to get out of it. You have to get out of the pain. You may be trying to recover from drugs or other things. Probably the worst thing that happens to a person is that they feel like they're worthless. And if you don't have this kind of hope over dope, if you don't have this like confidence in who you are, which is defined by the creator, from God, from Jesus, our creator, our savior, if you don't have that, then what do you have? What do you stand for? What do you believe in? Where do you find it? And even if you do believe in that, in Christianity, in that religion, it could still be very, very difficult. I knew a girl named Tiffany, and I knew her since I was about 5 years old, and she died later on when I was about 18. And it was difficult. I still wonder about that. And then I knew another guy named Blake, and then he died when I was about 25. And then I just found out today about Eric, how he took his life, and that's why I wanted to make this video and let people know that there's hope. And what you gotta do is you should talk about it. I want to really emphasize on that, and I should start the video that I should have started the video talking about that, because it's probably something that's not talked about enough. We should talk about that. Pain comes in all these different sizes and shapes and everything. Like, everybody's different in everything. So I don't know what it's like to be you. I don't know a lot. There's a lot that I don't know, but that doesn't mean that I can't relate at all. And we can relate to each other. We can relate to people all around us, and we should. If you're hurting, you need to let people know. And if you're not hurting, you need to let people know. Either way, you should let people know, because you will be surprised at what will happen, or what has already happened in a lot of cases. a lot of different cases. It happens all the time. You may think somebody's all right, and then you find out something like this happens and they're gone. Or they're in a situation that is very terrible. If you're trying to overcome something, it's difficult, especially when your buddies are ridiculing you and saying you can't talk about that. If you're overcoming something, some kind of addiction over something like opioid, some kind of drug, or it's things related to sex and pornography and all these different addictions and problems that people have. If it's getting you down, then you need to simply confess to that, to God, and to other people. You gotta write it down, you gotta let people know. That's one of the first steps to making things better. You gotta realize that there's a problem. That's easier said than done, and I'm not here to simply say that's all you have to do to make it better so that there's no problems with you or other people. I'm not saying that's that simple. I'm not trying to turn myself into some kind of sociopath, psychopath, or some kind of person with no emotions. I have a bad habit of talking like that, writing like I don't have emotions or feelings that care enough, and I confess to that. I may be trying to be a little too emotional at times in my life to emphasize, to try to drive a point, to try to get people to see what I've seen. And that could be a problem. Sometimes we gotta just listen to each other and let people know about the problems that are all around us. And we gotta start with the problem and then go for a solution, and understand that it has to be gradual. It has to be gradual instead of just like magical, where you just feel like you can just recover from any kind of problem and that you'll be better. Our lives is a lot like a garden. You have to constantly pick out the weeds from our own gardens of our lives, spiritually, psychologically, mentally, emotionally, mostly spiritually. That's the heart. Unless if your emotions are driving you, and that's unfortunate and happens most of the time, but we can do things differently and change that, and let our spirit be our captain, be our pilot to our lives and everything. And it could be difficult for a variety of reasons. Why do people die, or why are people killed? These are good questions that we can talk about. I just wanted to make a video about this to introduce these ideas to anybody who's listening. And I've been a pretty optimistic person most of my life, but I've had my lows in my life as well. And I should probably talk about that because it can help other people, talking about these kinds of things. What do you think about that? I still have more to say, but I'm going to start to do something, or I'm going to stop. I was supposed to say the word stop. I'm going to stop here. I'm Oatmeal Joey Arnold, and I probably should make more videos like this in the future. Do you agree? And I think this is very important to talk about, and that's why I'm talking about it right now. And it's okay to feel hurt. Just let other people know.